Well, a Vatican group is studying the life and legacy of a 20th century pope whose papacy lasted roughly 1 month. The group is taking a look into the archives of John Paul I. He served as pope for 33 days before his death in 1978. Tomorrow's event is being held in collaboration with the Department of Theology at the Pontifical Gregorian University. Joining us now from Rome is Father Mark Lewis, professor at the Faculty of History and Cultural Heritage of the Church at the Pontifical Gregorian University. Father Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Can you tell us more about this event and what you intend to focus on?
Yes, tomorrow we're going to have a day of studies sponsored by the Fondazione Giovanni Paolo I, the John Paul I Foundation, to present his writings during his brief papacy and to begin talking about going into a little more depth in his theology.
And if you don't mind, can we talk a little bit more about the private archives of John Paul I? What were some of the things that maybe you learned about him?
So one of the interesting things, this 2-volume work is the product of a great deal of editing and it's a critical edition, mostly of his notes during his papacy. He wrote a lot in his agenda. And so it's a new way, it's a different way of revealing his thought, his day-to-day thoughts, and especially, I think, his plans for his papacy. So the main topic of tomorrow's discussion is his 6 wishes, if you will, is what he wanted to do during his papacy for the Church.
And as far as the conference, Father, what do you hope comes out of the conference? And what would you like maybe our audience to know?
Well, the first thing is we're very pleased to welcome the Foundation to the Gregorian, since John Paul I was a student of ours for the licentiate in doctorate in dogmatic theology. And I think one of the takeaways from my brief conversation with the vice president of the Foundation, Dottoressa Stefania Falasca, is that many people sort of believed that John Paul I was a little bit superficial with his stories for children and so forth. But in fact, he had a much more intelligent plan of learning new ways of communicating the truths of the Church to a culture that was increasingly non-Christian. So in some ways, I think he anticipated the new evangelization, or was planning on that, in his very short papacy.
Father Mark, before I let you go, even though his papacy was brief, can you talk more about how his legacy is still relevant today?
Well, like I say, I think it's very relevant because some of the ideas that we will be talking about tomorrow were beginnings of what has been done by his successors. The new evangelization, finding new ways of dialogue with people who are not from Christian cultures, the continuing works with ecumenism. All of these were real priorities that he had, that he was beginning to outline in that first month, that he was not able to carry out. And the other thing I think that's important to grasp of John Paul I is that he was a very intelligent, very thoughtful theologian. We know that from his time at the Gregorian University. He was a very intelligent man.
Well, Father Mark, thank you so much for speaking with us about all this. We really appreciate it. God bless you.